What's up, guys? It's Chris here, and I'm making a quick video on visual snow. And the first thing you're probably going to notice about this video is that I'm kind of in the dark right now. I have lights behind me, which is not normally what a lot of YouTubers do, and I did that for a reason, because it makes it look like visual snow exists on my video. And this is what a lot of people with visual snow actually see. They see a weird amount of static kind of everywhere. And it's goofy that a lot of times what people see has to be related to what cameras see because they're often dealing with sort of similar issues if they have a problem with them. So I just wanted to really quickly show you guys what visual snow actually looks like before I turn on my lights, and we could talk about what visual snow is, kind of the gradient of visual snow from visual snow to visual snow syndrome and beyond. And I wanted to give you guys just a couple quick details about normal symptoms that people experience and why it's so weird. But this is my first ever video, so if you guys want to be nice to me and press the like button, maybe we can get some awareness about this and kind of spread the word about what visual snow and visual snow syndrome actually are, so people can understand it a little bit better. But anyways, first of all, I do want to say that there is a large gradient between everything. You can have somebody who's completely normal to having somebody who has a very mild visual snow that does not affect their lives at all, to having visual snow where it sort of bothers them a little bit, to having visual snow syndrome, which is basically visual snow plus a couple of other of extra problems, basically, or symptoms, to having severe visual snow syndrome, which is basically having every symptom you could possibly imagine, and it affects your life completely and even can leave you bedridden and feel like your life is just basically over and want to commit suicide. It really is a thing. It can be that bad. So, um, let's start off by saying that a lot of people have visual snow. Believe it or not, about 2 to 3% of the population have visual snow, according to Mayo Clinic, but it's probably higher than that because a lot of people don't realize that visual snow even exists. So when people ask, like, well, oh, that's just what my vision looks like. You know, I didn't realize that you weren't supposed to see static. A lot of people don't realize that you can see 100% perfectly clear. It just so happens that your eyes don't. Some people's eyes don't. I should also mention that I do have visual snow. I've had visual snow syndrome for about a year and a half now. I have I should say that I had really severe visual snow. I will probably go as far as saying that I probably had the worst visual snow on the planet for a couple of months, which probably a different story, but it does make me understand that I understand what people are feeling when they have the severest of severe visual snow. And luckily enough, I was able to make it out of that gravity well of terribleness, and I'm doing a little bit better now, and I wanted to sort of share my experiences, I guess. So, uh, I guess getting back to starting with visual snow, again, about 3% of the population have it, and they don't realize they have it until they talk about it with other people. A lot of people explain it as seeing the atoms of the world, or seeing particles of dust just everywhere, or just seeing flickering of an old TV movie, like the movie grain, which is exactly what I was trying to show you guys with this webcam right here, is that you can see sort of just speckles in the world everywhere. And generally, visual snow is going to be much, much better during the day. It's not going to be too bad unless you're looking at a blank wall or something like that, but you can have it be pretty severe when it's dark. So, when it's dark anywhere, you're going to have your visual snow really kick up a notch, and you can see a lot of different things. Visual snow can be a bunch of different colors. A lot of people don't realize this, but it can be sort of transparent, where it's just sort of like you see the speckles of the world, but everything still looks the same. You can have it be black and white, where you can see specifically black and white dots, like you're looking at an old static on a TV screen, but sort of overlaid or transparent over your entire vision. And then you can have colored static, and there can be multiple different types of colors too. It can be fully rainbow of every single color in existence. It can also be a little bit more RGB style, or specific colors sort of overtake the snow a little bit more than other colors. But again, you can tell there's just a lot of different ways that it can actually work here. But that's all just visual snow. Usually, visual snow, as far as I'm concerned, you don't have a problem. Okay, just move on with your life. Don't even think about visual snow. The more you think about it, the worse it's probably going to get. So don't think about visual snow at all. Just honestly, probably don't even watch this video. Just quit now, quit while you're ahead, and go do something fun with your life, because you don't need to think about visual snow at all. But just know that it is not 100% normal for you to have that, and there's nothing you can do about it right now as far as generally through medical help or anything. Don't go see a doctor about it. Don't go don't go searching for answers. Just know that it is a thing, and you shouldn't worry about it yet. Maybe some answers will pop up eventually. When it comes to getting visual snow syndrome, the difference between the visual snow and the syndrome, where does that line lie? So as far as the medical community is concerned, you need to have visual snow plus 2 to 3 other symptoms. And those symptoms can be a lot of things. But usually, and I'm going to read these off because there's a lot of them, you can have something called palinopsia, which is 2 different things. It's afterimages and blurry vision. So afterimages, everybody can look at a light, and you can say that I stared at that light for 3 seconds. When you look away, you're going to see that light there. That's completely normal. But it's kind of the degree of it. Well, somebody with visual snow might have that light not go away for 3 to 5 to 7 seconds, but instead last for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 seconds plus. It can be that bad. You can have afterimages. You can have trailing, which is the second version of palinopsia, which means that when you're looking at a moving object, you can see that it doesn't just, it's not just a fluid, 100% fluid motion. You're going to see some movement like this, okay? And of course, you can see it through my camera, so there's no way you can have, even if you have perfect vision, you're going to see the trailing anyways, but in normal life, if a car is moving or somebody's running or whatever, you can kind of see like a trail, or specifically when you're playing sports with a fast-moving ball, like baseballs or tennis or whatever, those fast-moving balls are going to be like a giant trail of like green light instead of just a ball moving across. And of course, the worse your visual snow is, the worse that's going to be. Then there's something called entopic phenomenon, which are things that you basically see in your eyes. So I think a lot of people have floaters. And again, this is where the degree comes into it because, I think a normal person might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floaters. As you get older, you're going to have more floaters. Somebody with visual snow syndrome can go from having 2, 3 floaters to having dozens, if not 50 plus, if not 100 plus floaters. And sometimes those floaters are so large that they literally give you like a blind spot in your vision. Yeah, I know, it sucks. And then there's also other things that you can see as far as entopic phenomenon go, like something called blue field entopic phenomenon, which basically is when you look at a bright light, or specifically the sky. A lot of people say the blue field is the sky. When you look at the sky, you can see a lot of weird things swirling around, just kind of everywhere in the entirety of your vision, and that's probably your white blood cells actually moving around inside of your eyes there. So it's, again, weird to see things inside of your eyes, but it is the case. And then you can see something called Purkinje images, or Purkinje tree, which are, again, just things that are structures of your eyes, right? You can see, veins in your eyes, or weird parts of your, anything, really. Any part of your eye that you can see is basically an entopic phenomenon. And oftentimes people will see, like their veins. They'll see like a red overline somewhere deep in their eye, and that's actually their vein most likely, or their artery, kind of showing up in their vision. In addition to that, there's a lot of other things. You can get pulsating vision, or sky vortex, or rain vision, which are kind of similar. It's just weird visual artifacts almost, just existing in everything. I don't know how else to explain it. You can get poor night vision, which a lot of people tend to have. You can get weird lighting effects like halos and starbursts, which are very common with people with astigmatism, but again, they just get worse when you have visual snow. The halos are kind of just big balls around lights. Like if you're looking at a stoplight, for example, the light won't be this big, it'll be this big, and then you'll also have the weird starbursts around it all the way down. And if you ever close your eyes really bad, you can see sometimes your eyelash will make those halos really, not the halos, the starbursts really, really, really bad, where you can see them go from the top of your vision to the bottom of your vision. But again, imagine that, but on almost everything. You can also have focusing issues, which are anything going on with just the brain-muscle connection somehow. So you can have weird double vision, ghosting problems, trouble reading, distortions in your vision a little bit. This can also, I won't go into it. You can also have sensitivities like photophobia, light sensitivity, or some people claim, and I'm a little wary of this, that it can also be sound sensitivity, which is hyperacusis, or I think that's how you pronounce it, hyperacusis, which is extreme sensitivity to sound. And I'm not just talking about where you're like, ooh, I don't want to be in front of a concert when they're blasting full blast at you. I'm talking about where you're just kind of sitting around the house and a cricket chirps and your ears are pierced because you're like, it burns me. Like opening doors, moving, doing anything. Basically, these people will wear earmuffs and just lay in their bed all day because it's that bad. And some people that have visual snow claim to have it, but it's pretty rare. You can have sound sensitivity without having full-on hyperacusis, where it's like murdering your entire existence, basically. You can have pain behind the eyes, which also relates to TMJ pain or TMJ issues, which also seems to be kind of connected in some way or related in some way. Dry eyes is another symptom. You can also have weird things that you see. So I think this is probably what most people are curious about. There's something called phosphenes, which are basically if you close your eyes and you just watch the blackness of life, or the static of life, I guess, you'll see just explosions, little mini fireworks, firecrackers of different colors of light, usually whitish. Sometimes it can be greenish or bluish, depending on what's going on, but they're just little flashes of light randomly anywhere in your vision, like pew, 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 pew. They're not usually that quickly, but just every couple seconds or every couple minutes, depending on how bad it is. You can also get color swirls. So this is something I don't see that a lot of other people complaining about, but for me, it does definitely happen. I see, if I close my eyes, I used to have swirls of green, swirls of orange, swirls of purples. The entirety of my vision was just tidal waves of different colors swirling around each other like this, and it was kind of ridiculous, to be completely honest. Floating orbs. So if you've got an orb usually in the center of your vision, sort of splotchy sometimes. They move around. You can have them go in and out and up and down and move around a little bit. You can, unfortunately, have to look at them a little bit and just follow them as they fly around your entire vision. You can get something called black hole vision, which also is just a giant black hole in your vision, which may relate to entopic phenomena, but it can also relate to having a big X in your vision. So you can have a big X in your vision, or even crazier than that, you can have a vision where you see a bunch of individual dots, all exactly symmetrical and same farness away from each other, which is just absurd. And you can see fractals, which are sort of like snowflakes or polygons of some sort, usually in the sides of your vision. And the weirdest part about those is they usually get stuck there. So when you look at things, usually you can kind of look around the fractals. You can actually specifically look at the fractals as they're happening, instead of them actually moving away from your vision, which just seems so odd to me. You can also see something called metamorphosia. Metamorphopsia, which is basically when straight lines turn into wiggles. So if that door behind me right there, instead of that being a straight line, you would just see like a wiggle. And the best way I can explain this is basically when you look at a hot road really far away and you can see the squiggles of it, imagine that, but just close by. I mean, it's just the squiggles, and not thousands of them or hundreds of them. It's just literally just one straight line turns into a squiggle. But any straight line can turn into a squiggle. Ceiling fans for me, doors, whatever. Just weird things. And it's probably related to serotonin in some way, but I don't know exactly. You can have peripheral vision changes. So oftentimes you can almost have like a weird tunnel vision effect where you feel like you have tunnel vision, but it's not actually tunnel vision. It's more like the outside of your vision is almost distorted or wrong in some way. You can have DPDR, which is derealization. Hopefully I said that right. But derealization, I don't have it written down here. And derealization is just not feeling like the world is real. Like you're not doing life. Life is happening to you. And that's definitely a gradient there as well, where it can go from like you just don't really feel right, you don't really feel like yourself, to being like I feel really wonky, to almost feeling like life is controlling you instead of you controlling it, to almost feeling like you are having an out-of-body experience and like watching your body do things. And it can be really bad. So really, visual snow syndrome can have all of these incorporated in it. And it's basically all a brain disorder. It's your brain not doing things properly, and it can be sparked by usually an event in life. Usually it's sparked by SSRIs. It can be sparked by a concussion. It can be sparked by migraines. It can be sparked by drugs and or sicknesses. Sometimes even people claim that it can be sparked by taking not necessarily illegal drugs, but also prescribed drugs. So not just SSRIs, but sometimes even antibacterials and things like that, where you just take it and all of a sudden, boom, it pops up out of nowhere. And it's just kind of weird, but it seems like it's some sort of defense mechanism of your body that it just sort of happens. For some reason, your brain just turns on or turns off or does whatever it does to break. And it just breaks, and then it doesn't usually just go away. It takes a long time for it to either eventually dissipate, for you to get used to it, or for people to say that they just don't notice it anymore. Which is not usually people saying that they are cured from it. It's usually that they don't notice it anymore. Which is probably the best way to cure yourself from visual snow, is to not notice it anymore, not think about it anymore, and your brain will hopefully adapt. There's more into that, and I know that that's way, way, way more easily said than done. It seems like I just can say, I've cured you. Don't think about it. I'm not saying that. But it is a strategy to hopefully help resolve some of your issues, and I'm going to get into some of that in some of my future videos where I talk about solutions and ways that you can help yourself. So if this helped you understand visual snow, kind of the gradient of visual snow, and as time goes on, or as the symptoms get worse and worse, that it becomes a visual snow syndrome, into a visual snow syndrome, into a severe, severe visual snow syndrome, and everybody in between, all of that. Hopefully it helps you understand a little bit, and yeah, I'll meet you guys in the next video. Peace out.